Hello and welcome to an introduction to Tracking19.com. Tracking19.com is a new resource being made available to you, the healthcare community, by several companies who service the healthcare industry. Those companies, with an application developed by SNF Metrics, along with Zimit Healthcare Services Group, Prime Source Healthcare Solutions, People Powered Nursing, and SHOP, have developed a site that will more easily allow you to track and report your COVID-19 needs, especially around required testing of employees and line listing for both residents and staff. Over the next few minutes, I'll show you how to sign up and how to get started and what the system looks like. So to get started, you head over to tracking19.com where there'll be buttons available. First, right now, for you to enter your email address and we'll reach out to you, but shortly there'll be a form where you can fill in the information about you and your facility in order to get yourself set up on the system. It'll take us about half a day or so to get that turned around, at which point you'll be sent your login information and able to get started. Once you do that, you would go ahead and click on the Login Now button, and doing that will take you to the SNF Metrics portal, where you can go ahead and log in with your information to use the Infection Tracker COVID-19 edition, again, being made available to you for free to help in this trying time for all of us. So, looking to get started, now you've logged in, we'll start out on the employee tracking side. And so, especially if you're in the state of New York, where there's a fairly heavy responsibility to do employee tracking, but really this works for any location wherever you are, because the system's flexible enough to handle your requirements. So let's go ahead and take a look. Here we have an employee staff listing. You can see we have first and last name, we have some general employee information, and then looking over on the side, you also have information about different tests that were done, when they were done, and then what the results were. And you have this available to you. Up at the top, it gives you a summary of what's here. As things need to be updated, for example, let's say you want to see when your next test date is for employees coming up. I can go ahead and click on this column to sort by the next test date, and I can say, okay, here's someone who was really supposed to be done yesterday. Actually, that test was done at the end of the day yesterday, so let's go ahead and update the record. We simply go in, we'll go ahead and set the next test date to be tomorrow. We'll set the next test date to be later this week. And then we'll go ahead and we'll enter in the information about the test that was done. So we'll go ahead. Here's a test that was done. It was done yesterday. This is the type of test it was. And now we're ready to save and move on. And now you can see the record is updated. In red, it was showing you anyone who's overdue, and in yellow, it's everyone who's due for that test today. All right? So that's going ahead and checking out your records and getting them updated. Fairly simple click and update effort. We also have reporting that is available to you. As the needs change, we're going to be rolling out new and updated reporting, but here are just a couple of examples of things that are going to be available very shortly. And again, many of these will apply in New York, where the requirement of testing really requires staying on top all the time of a changing needs. So here, for example, we have a report that shows for a given week, let's say from Wednesday, June 3rd to Tuesday, June 9th, all of the tests that have been completed during this 1 week period. This report shows you your staff broken down by who requires 2 tests, your full-time employees who requires one, and then it shows you, in green are the employees who already had the required number of tests this week, and in yellow are those who still need to have them done. You can see it gives you some basic employee information, shows you when the next test date you have in the system is, and then down at the bottom gives you some totals for total tests given and total number of people tested. We also have another report. Here's just a general staff report showing who are your full-time employees, who are your part-time, per diem, and other areas, just to be able to review, make sure you have a complete list of who needs to be tested and how often. Okay, going back to the system itself. You also have the ability to, just as you're getting started, to import an initial list of employees. All you have to do, you can click on this import button. You'll get a template that will allow you to either fill it in or modify whatever came out of your payroll system, and then do that initial upload. After that, you'll be able to update the records manually. We are also working on a way for you to do like a regular upload to kind of do a mass update. But the system is quick enough, you should be able to maintain them fairly quickly once that initial upload is done. Now, we've talked about New York a couple of times, but this can really work anywhere. Let's say, for example, you're concerned simply about, was a test given to my employees, and perhaps when they first had symptoms, or when those symptoms stopped and they're safe to work, safe to come back to work. So you can see here we have the first symptom onset date, and so we can have that recorded in the system, and then as well we have when the symptom resolution date was. So let's say, for example, we have this staff member who began showing symptoms. So we can go ahead and click here. We have their can enter what symptoms they had if you want to get to that level of detail. Let's say, and that started, let's say it started on Sunday, and then I can go ahead and save that in the system. If later on I want to go ahead and enter, okay, here's the symptom resolution date, now they're feeling better, so I go ahead and I have that done, and now I have that information here in the system as well. Okay, you can then use that to report on, when it's safe to go back to work. Because the situation is so fluid, we're going to be rolling out new reports based on feedback and based on changing needs. But one thing you can always do, if you want to, start to do some of your own, you can simply do a quick export, and you can choose which columns or just take the defaults, export it right to Excel. And when that happens, you're going to get an updated spreadsheet with your information in it, and with that, you'll be able to, again, if you decide, all right, let me see all of the, everyone in a particular department, you can do so doing some very easy and quick Excel filtering. Look for, different system dates and test results, etc., and you have all that information here. Okay. Now, the other thing that the system can do for you is not only as an employee tracking, but also from a clinical perspective, you can use it for your line listing. Now, the great thing about using this for a line listing, I'm just going to switch to another facility for this example. You can not only be doing all your line listing, tracking, and entering information into here all in one place, and all backed up and saved, but you can also use it to do reporting. Again, the reporting is going to be rolling out over the next few weeks based on different state requirements as we get them into the system. But our first report is going to be your required CDC information, which of course is a little bit challenging to get since your CDC is looking for kind of changes that were newly entered into the system rather than your current totals. But again, here you have your traditional line listing. So you can see you can enter in a status for anyone on the line listing. Are they positive, negative, or were they suspected? You can document all of their symptoms, all of the test information, antibodies, physician naming, resolution date, etc. Track when they went to the hospital, when they returned from the hospital, all the things that you're probably doing in your line listing now, and again, have it all in place for easy reporting. It also has easy summary data up at the top, so you can quickly see positive, your PUIs, who's in the hospitals, and who, God forbid, is no longer with us. This is helpful both to get your facility numbers at a glance, as well as if you're in a multi-facility organization, makes it easy to share from a corporate perspective what the numbers all can look like. So you can do that here. And then this type of a line listing is also available for staff. So if we return back to our previous example, so the line listing we had here, right, before we were looking at this from an HR perspective, but there's a toggle here. I can go ahead and click on the clinical button, and now kind of takes the HR fields, puts them over at the end, and then whoever it is that's responsible for updating the line listing can just have the information here. Again, anytime there's someone new that needs to be put on the line listing, it's easy to do so. You simply click add, and now we can go ahead and start typing any information you want to put in here. Let's say they're suspected. We can do all of these. This is a employee, right? It's probably a little younger than that, right? So we go ahead and they can make it suspected, why they were suspected, when those dates started, and then again enter information for a test, anything else you want to track here. So easy to do. Just click save, and then they're added to the line listing. And that's our introduction to the system. Again, this is being brought to you at no charge to help in this trying time of COVID-19. The Infection Tracker COVID-19 edition developed by Sniffmetrics and brought to you via the Tracking19.com website with the assistance and sponsorship of Zimit, Prime Source, People Power Nursing Shop, and of course Sniffmetrics. Go ahead and come to Tracking19.com to get started. You can also reach out to me at any time if you want some more information. Ken Berger is my name, K Berger, Berger, at snfmetrics.com. And thank you for your time today.